Hey guys, so today it's all around performance. Performance to get you the best possible times, but also as well so you enjoy the training block that you're actually doing. The problem that I see quite a lot with a lot of people who I'm speaking to is they're just trying to get to the start line. They're potentially strapping themselves up and they're in a position where they're seeing physios just before they start their marathon, because I'll probably say this is the main area of what I'm going to discuss today. When mileage gets quite high and your recovery's being affected, and then you're picking up a flare up, and then you're quite conscious like how the run's going to go. Are you going to be able to complete the race? Are you going to get the time that you want? There's probably a number of things going around in your mind. The reason why that's happening is adjustments to strength and nutrition potentially stays the same. It doesn't change. But here's the thing, I just want you to think of it this way. With your running mileages and the intensity of your runs, you probably gradually increase them up a little bit more, especially the running mileage anyway. When you're doing a marathon, you're going to build it up. You're not just going to stay in the same mileage throughout the whole training block. You're going to adjust it. So why not do the same with your nutrition and strength? It's as simple as that. The reason with you guys that I explain this in a certain way to support you is I hear this quite a lot from a number of people who I speak to, clients before they've actually worked with me, is they go through certain windows of their trainer block, usually when mileage starts to build quite high, and then there's the odd flare up. Or then you're having to strap it up before you actually do a race just to get yourself to the start line. You may be picking up physio exercises to just condition yourself a little bit so the flare up goes and you get yourself to the start line. So we're trying to push ourselves to a position to just get there and not necessarily enjoying the process that you're in. It's not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable at all. You want to be in a position where you start to enjoy the training block that you're actually in. And that's going to come from you having adjustments with your strength and nutrition, because you adjust the mileages that you're at. So why not do the same with strength and nutrition? So the two clients that you see here at this moment in time, like Fran, for instance, she was with me and she wanted to get a sub 4:30. She got a sub 4. She smashed a marathon PB by over 30 minutes. Jordan, who's a running coach, and she wants to have some more understanding of strength and nutrition, was able to get her personal best time. She's done lots of marathons and she got under her 3 hour mark and hit her PB time, which is amazing. Now, that sense of accomplishment as well, of having a great experience on race day, is probably another thing that I want you to consider. Because it's not just about the time, it's about the experience and enjoyment. Because the last thing you want is to hit the time that you want, but don't have the best experience on race day. Because if there's some form of issue with regards to enjoyment of running, you're not necessarily going to be in the position where you're going to okay, well, let's book the next race. Let's go again. You're not going to feel motivated to move on to the next target that you wanted to reach. You're going to feel a little bit deflated. You're going to feel quite tired. And you just think to yourself, yeah, I'm just going to ease back a little bit. But you ease back too far. You let your foot go too far off the gas. I find this happens quite a lot as well, is people then maybe have overeating episodes, or they move away from their strength training because they don't necessarily need it too much right now at this moment in time. That they haven't got any direction or goals of where they need to be at, and they tend to go through the cycle of them waiting till the next training block and then pushing again. In reality, it's really, really important for you to consider enjoying the training block that you're in, having the best possible time or experience on race day, but the best experience within your training block as well. So what I need you to be aware of as well is scale fluctuations. This is a common thing with a lot of runners as well. And this is even leaner individuals as well. This happens too, is we always relate weight to performance. And that's not necessarily the case. Because if you focus your attention on weight and you notice the fluctuations of the scales going up ever so slightly over a short period of time, it's not body fat. You just need to trust the process. You just need to understand the amount of foods that you actually eat and trust the process. That's probably the other thing as well, is you don't know the understanding of the amount of foods that you actually eat. But you edging on the side of caution and, edging back slightly because you're conscious about gaining weight, or you gain a little bit of weight, so you edge back slightly, is actually going to impact your recovery even further, because you're probably going to be in a caloric deficit. And what happens when you're in a caloric deficit and then you go into runs, maybe not like the first long run that you do, but over maybe like a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, the recovery's not there, your energy levels are low, you maybe have overeating episodes on processed foods, and then you're also in a position where your recovery is affected with regards to injuries as well, because injuries not just around strength training. Strength training, it's also related to your nutrition and fueling. Because if you underfuel, you're going to pick up recovery issues, which is going to promote an injury down the line as well, you see. So what we need to consider is that scale fluctuations is a common area that I discuss quite a lot. Like, you got to understand that your calories are going to increase up because your mileage is going up. And every gram of carbohydrate that you consume, you're going to attain around about 4 grams of water weight. So you're going to be in a position where you gain a little bit of water weight, because the difference between weight loss and fat loss are totally different things. The problem you face is if you have a poor relationship with the scales, we're always going to edge back on the edge on the side of caution with where we need to be at. So my suggestion for you guys on this is gradually increase the amount of foods that you're consuming and carbohydrates. You don't need to do this every single day of the week, but especially for that long run, the day before the long run, increase your calories up, lower your protein, lower your fiber, consume more food 24 hours beforehand and on the day of the run. They're the main 2 days that you need, the day before and on the day of the run. Ramp it up. And every time the mileage goes higher, you want to consume a little bit more. Just add a little bit extra in, because you know that you're going to need that because the mileage is increasing. Naturally, what's going to happen, the thing with clients like Fran and Jordan is they're even in a position where they started to understand, actually, I feel okay on Monday. It's like I don't feel drained too much and tired, trying to get myself throughout the day and that. And also as well, when you've got training sessions to start the day again on the Monday, it's like you're getting back on board of it, and it might be quite a task, and then performance starts to drop. But with the clients that I work with, especially Fran and Jordan, when they've gone through this phase, confidence builds. They understood that the recovery was a more important role to play than the number on the scales. It's a big thing that I want you to consider. What happens then is when you go through this position of doing this, you start to build confidence within your running, even though the scales have creeped up ever so slightly. And I'm not talking like it's like a large increase, but a small increase, gradual increase that's gone up over a short period of time. Don't worry about it, because over long periods, that's where we relate it to fat loss, relating to weight, not over short periods. Because you'd have to consume 3,500 calories over your maintenance in a surplus over your maintenance. So if your maintenance is like 2,200, consume 2,200 and an additional 3,500 calories to gain a pound of body fat. And that's not going to necessarily be the case at all. And it's not the fact that we need to increase it every single day. It's just 2 days of the week that you need to do this. And actually, you're probably going to have better relationship with food. You're less likely to have cravings, and you get the results that you want. So it's really important. Next point I want to bring up, taper. Anyone gone into the taper and they've just winged it, and they've just guessed what they should be eating. They just eat a bit more carbs and take away my strength training a little bit more and drop me pace down a little bit and my mileage down within taper week. And that's it. There's more to it than that, because you need to know your tolerance to certain types of foods. As you probably know already on this, never want to try anything new before race day. That's the fact, isn't it? You don't want to have digestive issues. You ever had that when you've done a race and you've had your stomach going in and that, and it's like a really hard task then to get through the race? It's like, then things can happen because we're not testing things out. And all you need to do the day before the long run and on the day of the long run, you just need to have them same foods and then just increase it over a number of days. I'm going to tell you specifically how many days you need to do this over, because it depends on the person. I work with individuals on a one-to-one basis. If you have a poor relationship with food and you're very conscious about increasing your calories, I'm probably going to extend it slightly longer than someone who's literally, I don't care. I'll just be able to eat as much as I can on one day and I'm not that bothered. It's like I'll probably shorten it down a little bit more. So it has to relate to that person. It also relates to your body weight as well, because that plays a key role as well. So someone with a low body weight to someone at a high body weight, where someone at a high body weight is going to need to consume more food to someone at a low body weight. So it really, really depends. Like, I can't give you the answer on that, unfortunately. I'd have to work with you more on a one-to-one basis for that. But what you do is when you go into that taper week, you start to feel more confident. You don't have to think about what you're doing because you know what to eat. And strength training just eases back ever so slightly. The next thing is the strength training as well. Like, you understand, like, you do the same full body workout sessions, you do the same workouts, intense workouts at the start of the training block, it's perfectly fine. But as your mileage slowly starts to increase, if you're on the same workouts again, which are pretty intense, what's going to happen? It's going to impact your recovery. It's probably going to promote an injury. You're going to notice a flare up happening because the intensity is high with strength training, and it's also high with your running, or like the frequency, the amount of miles that you're doing. It's just putting your body under so much pressure. So here's the thing: work on intense workouts slightly, starts the training block, and when the mileage slowly starts to increase a little bit more, just drop the intense workouts down and start to work on less intense workouts. It's as simple as that. I would promote more sport-specific exercises because I think that's more beneficial for you guys. So exercises which promote you maybe standing on one leg, like, doing exercises where you're on the floor, like clams and bridges or whatever else, them physio exercises that you get given. They're probably like really helpful ones to be doing, towards the end of your training block when mileage is high, because they don't impact your recovery. You're not going to be doing loads of deadlifts and squats. Let's face it, it's going to impact your recovery. They're going to be moved to one side for a few weeks. So we just need to consider the way you do this as well, because when you start to build that structure in place when you're in a training block, you'll be like my clients Fran and Jordan, getting the best possible times, finding your love for running, enjoying your training block, getting the best possible times, recovering well after the race as well, which is so important. And then you're like, right, I feel great. Let's move on to the next goal. Let's maybe drop a little bit more body fat. Let's build muscle mass. Let's move on to the next race and booking that ultra or whatever it is that you want to do. Your mindset plays a key role. And if you're confident within your runs and you're feeling great and you understand nutrition, it doesn't feel as confusing. It's like, you're going to move on to the next goal. And that's when it starts to become more of a permanent fix to help yourself move forwards. Now, guys, I know this is a lot of information to take in. If you feel a bit confused with all this information, you'd like a little bit more support, you can book a call with me. Reach out on this thread and book your call. We can have a chat and I'll see if I can support you first to help yourself move forwards. Hope helps. Speak to you soon.